Behind pails of delicate wind, endless platoons with rhythmical flat noise were appearing over her left ear, biting his nails with a precise cadence. Building blocks rolled down like massive boulders, one after the other, as none of them had the patience to gaze over the world from the heights of their supernatural experience. And they looked grand. Generations upon generations watched them evolving, creating their souls from clay and bedrock dipped in liquid bliss. And her lips were formed in the summer wind. His eyes were blown in place with great care by the glass-masters of ancient Rome, and their umbilical cords were kept forever to be gazed upon in orange blocks of amber. Mechanical wind in her hands was pressed through silver ducts, and colors were flowing over their fatherland, as their unity was the only one making it glow. A sea of plain white cloth and merciful dark depths were soon making their way as they kept floating in plain air. Such witchcraft, such miracles, so much magic. Where's my dog? Where's my weapon? Where's my army? Where's my iron cross? Iron structures, my iron core, my iron heart, my iron-shaped limbs, my iron song sang by youth. My youth. My hopes, my future, my iron future. My iron legs are weak, much too weak to cope with this any longer. Shoot out in the wild. Shoot me in the face and throw me in the wilderness. Get it over with. Faster, I need to get out of it faster. My dogs, bring out my dogs. They know how to fight for me. My dogs with iron teeth and velvet gums. My velvet revolution. Bring out the kids. They'll show you all about the future. Their eyes have seen it from the beginning, and you cannot hide it from them. There's no way back. No way forward. I'd better lay down and die right now while the sun is still up, otherwise they won't find my body in the morning. It'll all be rotten away, reduced to its basic elements and blown away by the morning breeze. The mechanical ideals of my youth will be as well blown away, but for God's sake, please bring back my dogs. Bring back my weapons, my armies, my iron heart, my youth. It's all for nothing. Winds of war in plain white immaculate snow, interlocked in a game of nerves among their officers. Red generals with golden horns spitting from backs of frozen horses, hitting them so hard with their boots that the noise was unbearable. The wind was frozen in place, and no room was there any longer for their gigantic will. Snow was covering their will up to the knots tying it to their cannons, their stainless steel cannons shooting black lead to each other. Predominating patterns were activated in clear ways, and foggy ways were carved. And white generals with blue helmets majestically came from the distance, pointing their swords toward the starry sky. And their auras were melting the frozen wind. Their horses were warm, and their cannons shot with crystal balls that were radiating pure joy. And hell broke loose. What a day. What a joyfully bitter day that was. Empty paved roads, perfume from a distance, old pacts signed on wooden tables during the Great War. Those sounds of their feet running in a great hurry on the side streets of my block. The birds have died long ago. Their nest is empty. Their eggs have fallen, and unborn baby swallows are singing in the morning wind on my window pane every day. Their omelets were sizzling hot, and old ghost-like kitchen workers were bringing bacon on silver trays. Oh, how wonderful it once was. Paths, springs, stones polished by water, straight fences and bright horizons. Electricity through copper wires and steel hearts of party members. The village doctor with an immaculate conscience and dark eyes that saw it all. And her hair in the red light. My desires all blown away in that evening wind. That hot evening wind. That fucking wind. That fucking party. Those fucking red horizons. Blown away and all forgotten. It's all forgotten now. Slicing through the meadow with a legendary sword of mythological proportions. Green grass jumping and rabbits losing their long ears. Blowing winds and tunders flowing. Air breaking in two and birds falling with ice on their wings. Cold feelings and red eyes. Freckles on the feathers of the deadly crows. The sound of firewood cracking at dawn with flickering flames from medieval candles. The idea of a night, the idea of a sword fight, the idea of divine quests for shallow words. All is lost in just an instant. river never changed its path, still kept flowing aimlessly over their armies. Fertilizer was frowning down at the mother, and her eyes were globes of despair. A war was over, and her way was lost. A cross had fallen, and her ears had been shutting down. There are no sounds any longer, other than the sounds of armed men aiming for the heavens. Toward the fallen clowns of my childhood I raise my voice in anger, and my anger is infinite. Towards my mother I turn my head, and my neck is broken. Filled with fantasies of carefully folded stars and black overalls. A bullet left like a raging bull. A hole was dug, and spirits left with anger on their expressionless faces. The mother has seen enough, but the letters are golden. Forever in gold stays written. A certain charm in mechanical logic is metallically pressed upon my left cheek. It's almost making a hole in it, and the faraway sounds break loose from common standards. We've heard the cry and praised the working-class struggle. Now the flags are up and our comrades are victorious. What more can you ask from life than a loaf of holy bread on your table and red wine from local charity? Where else can you find class victory more obviously shaped than in the lemonades drank in the wilderness by our thirsty comrades? Our will is liquid and flows over our memory. covering the delicate bits just like it once happened in Pompeii. What better sound do you expect to hear than the roaring heat of our production lines? Our mechanized fantasies, our mechanized ideal world. The ideal man is born. Our movements were controlled. Our flow was controlled. Our rhythm was controlled. Nothing was at hand any longer. Nothing was easy. Suddenly, we found ourselves in the middle of strange cadences, all working in unison. We were like a breathing organism pulsating like a large steam engine that's about to burst from too much pressure. With a long stick, they were keeping us in place, and whatever the mastermind wanted, we were sentenced to do. His art was alive. His masterful plan. And we were his puppets. His sublime puppets. Possession. My fingertips could feel her possessive powers radiating from her wide-open pores. And how wonderful it all was. I felt lonely in a bamboo cage that brought it all back to my memory. I felt the cold nights breathing on my back and the mermaids of marine proportions. They all swam away in the dark. I once heard that their eyes have fantastic powers. They can see clearly in the darkness. They see how everything is formed, how everything comes to be, how everything is thought. And yet, I'm frightened. I'm terrified about slipping over into their darkness. I'm lost, with no way back.